What can you say about the team playing in really tough conditions tonight?
Well, we faced a lot this year, and I guess it was apropos that we play our game in a blizzard, couldn't see the lines. I have to say, look, it was. I actually think the referees did a great job. It was a. I mean, it was just a tough game, just all around. We had to change our game plan coming into the place once we saw the snow on the field, and we had to completely change. And I give the guys a lot of credit because they did exactly what we were hoping to do, to be honest with you, based on the conditions. We talked about set pieces, how important they were going to be. And we talked about how we felt that we could get, especially in the second half, down the channels on them. And so when we brought Eric on, he makes a great diagonal run, gets the second goal, and puts us in a really good position because we knew we were going to suffer some onslaught late in the game with them just hitting balls long and it put us under pressure a little bit. But I thought that the back line did a great job, and Timmy as well.
Next question goes to Sean Goodwin with the Kansas City Star. Sean, your line is open.
Peter, congrats on first place, obviously. And not sure if you know, but you guys now hold the records for the greatest season-to-season bounce from 11th to 1st. Just with that in mind, and now you guys have finally done it. How proud are you of the guys and their mentality to get to this point?
Well, I'm proud of the guys. I'm also proud of the staff and the club, and the reason being is because last year was a very tough year for us with all the injuries we suffered, and it was a really tough year in that regard. And I felt bad for the guys because I thought we had a very good team, and it just some things just didn't go our way, but more importantly, the injuries just were too much for us to overcome. And I say the staff also because what the staff didn't do is the staff didn't panic. We've always been in it. Unfortunately, the year didn't go as we had planned, but we stayed the course. We stayed to who we are. We remained loyal and committed to our culture, and we believed. And so this has been a tough year, but I have to say, for us to be able to achieve first place in the West based on the circumstances, it was incredibly difficult. And then when things changed at points per game, and then we had games canceled, it's easy for the guys to have mentally checked out in certain situations. And they found a way each time. And so I give them a lot of credit in this year for the mentality that they've had. We all have to endure all these new things, and the guys have adapted and adjusted and found success. And so I'm proud of them, and I can't say enough good things about them and the staff.
Next question goes to Ali Trost with Sports Radio 8 WHB. Ali, your line is open.
Hey, Coach, and along with clinching the number one seed comes home field advantage with all of the difficulties and travel and all of the changes in that regard. And then when you factor in Sporting Kansas City and Children's Mercy Park allowing fans, just how crucial was it to get that home field advantage through the playoffs?
It's a big goal of ours every year. We always want to, in some way, shape, or form, be in the top 2-4 to get some home field advantage. And so when we got, we weren't sure when it was 3 games ago and they were getting canceled on us, we started to get concerned because now all of a sudden we're losing opportunities, and we have an incredible respect for the other teams in our conference as well in the league. And so what we were nervous about was and concerned about was the fact that we might, as you guys know, not hold destiny in our hands. And so somehow with a couple of different results, next thing you know, we came down to this last game. And again, I tell you, tonight was, you guys probably saw it on TV or whatever, but it was amazing on the field. It was just, there's nothing you could do. I mean, couldn't even play all that well, but we found a way. And so I say it was big for us. It's big for the club. It's big for the city. Home field advantage is obviously much more important when you do have your full stadium, but having some fans is big, is really big. And so hopefully, I don't know, I'm putting it out there. Maybe we can increase the number for our first playoff game. That'd be great.
Next question goes to Daniel Sperry with Last Word on Soccer. Daniel, your line is open.
Hey, Peter, you said you had to change the game plan up a little bit. What do you have to do to the game plan when you're playing in snow that's borderline ankle deep?
Well, we couldn't build out of the back. That was a given. We had to be very concerned about them playing long balls and then picking up second balls. And you couldn't take chances when it came to, any balls played directly in. You just needed to really clear them. It wasn't a game to be bringing the ball down and then, trying to find the open man and keep in possession. And then the other is that we had to have a lot of runs out of midfield. And then the forwards had to really make diagonal runs and try to get in behind. And the timing of all that stuff had to be on as well. And so, I think the second goal was definitely a big, it took the pressure off. It took everything off. But the second goal was exactly, like I said, what we talked about. And that was a big part of going into the second half to try to play into those channels, because we really felt when Eric came in, it was going to be a place that he could exploit them.
Next question goes to Phil West with MLSsoccer.com. Phil, your line is open.
Hello. Thank you. And yeah, congrats, Peter, on the win and getting into the playoffs. And just wanted to ask you what this means to you, and particularly thinking about the first matchup against San Jose and then maybe going against some of the other teams who might have been picked to be the West winners this year.
Yeah, look, we know how tough it is, in our conference. It's very tough. There's a lot of really good teams. And so it's a really proud moment for the club, for the staff, for the team, for the fans. It's not easy to slug away like we are right now and keep fighting through all the different things that are happening and finding a way to find success. It's not easy. And so proud of everybody for that. I've always been a big believer that when you get into these types of environments where, it's postseason. The bottom line, everybody who got there is there because they found a way and they're fighting for it. And so my respect is immense for all the other teams and all the other staffs that have had that go through this profession. It's not easy. It's tough. And when you get to this part, the postseason, there's a difference. And what happens is that I don't care who you face. It's a new season, and anything can happen on any given day. And so these are one-game finals now. And, it doesn't matter who we play. We have to be ready because the other team is going to be ready. So we have to be ready. And whether it's San Jose or anyone else, we know that they're going to be a tough opponent, and we're going to have to be ready for the game.
Final two questions. We'll go to Ali Trost and Sean Goodwin. Up first, Ali Trost with Sports Radio 810 WHB. Ali, your line is open.
Coach, going into a game like tonight's where there are such unusual conditions, typically players, you tend to lean on experience. Have you or any other players on this team in your conversations ahead of time played in a snow game quite like the one that you saw in Salt Lake City?
I've actually played in quite a few of them, especially when I played in Europe. Played in quite a few. So I think there was quite a few guys on our team that have played in those environments before, for sure. And then, I think, again, with all the things that guys had to adapt and to adjust to just this year, I don't think they even blinked when they knew we had to go out in the field and do what we had to do. They understood and they were ready to go. Nobody's complaining. Nobody was, whining. They were just like, listen, all right, okay, this is what we got to do. Let's go, guys. And they were fighting for it. So that's where that you've taken a big giant step forward.
Final question goes to Sean Goodwin with the Kansas City Star. Sean, your line is open.
Peter, at least on TV, it looked like the snow really picked up the last 35 minutes. Say it was a tie, you needed to score. Do you feel, how difficult would it have been for you guys to grab a goal in those conditions later in the game? And because of that, do you feel fortunate you scored a little bit earlier?
Are you talking hypotheticals now? Because we just won the game 2-0. I mean, Sean, you kidding me? We did what we had to do. we won the first half, as I told the guys, and the only thing they had to do now was at least tie the second half. And so that's all we had to do. And we were ready for it. So the 2 goals were what we talked about, which is fantastic. And we were prepared for them. So, it's nice to be prepared for something and then execute on it. So the guys did a great job.
2 questions in this. One, talk me through your weird goal, and then 2, how does it feel what was it like playing in a game with ankle deep snow?
Yeah, it was just a little deflection goal. Ball came across, keeper punched it out. Ailey happened to get on the end of it, direct it back on goal, and I happened to be there. Got a little flick on it. It goes in, and then this environment was wild, but it's a great experience. I don't recall playing in a game like this in my professional career so far, but it was amazing, something new, and we did well.
Our next question goes to Harold Kuntz with Fox 4. Harold, your line is open.
Khiry, how we doing, man? And congratulations on the win and everything that's going on. I just the winning 2-0 in the snow just kind of encapsulate just the whole season, just how crazy it's been, and you end in a crazy game like this, and then just a testament to the player staff and coaching staff just to get to first place with what seems like 3 or 4 different seasons that you guys have gone through.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year. This year has been about adaptability, and this team, we came together from day one, and then having to go into quarantine and then coming out of quarantine and playing in Orlando. We've adapted, and we've adapted really well, and everyone was focused, and we remained focused, and we got a big game coming up, so we're going to rest up for that and get ready for that. But man, it's been a wild season, and we're not done yet.
Next question goes to Phil West with MLSsoccer.com. Phil, your line is open.
Hey, Khiry, congrats on the good game. I'm doing this from Liberty Hill tonight, so shouts to Leander. And wanted to just ask you about how does it feel for you and the rest of the guys to have the number 1 seed, and then what are your thoughts going into the playoffs?
It's amazing. It's a blessing, and we've worked so hard for this, and we deserve to be on top. We've worked tremendously hard, and everyone's put in the work and effort, not just the players, not just the staff, but the whole organization. They've put in the extra work, and we did our job. We ended up on top, but like I said, we're not done yet. We still got a game to look forward to, and it's been great.
Next question goes to Ali Trost with Sports Radio 810 WHB. Ali, your line is open.
Hey, Khiry, congrats. And I hope you are that you've thawed out at this point, because it looked really cold out there. But, you were part of this. You were part of this team back in 2018 during a very successful year, weren't there in 2019 during a very disappointing season, but a key addition ahead of this 2020 season that you finish in what's been the single greatest turnaround from 11th place in 2019 to now first place in 2020. I'm curious if you can go back to when Vermes and everything was getting finalized during your return to the club in 2020. What did he communicate to you about the goals for 2020, and to see how all of those goals and aspirations to finish in the spot that you all did kind of came to fruition?
It was mutual respect. I have tremendous respect for Peter and our owners. And I just want to win. I'm a winner. I work hard day in and day out. I'm at the facility day in and day out. And I play a key piece of this team, but so do every other player. It's not just me. All of our guys. I know they had the season last year wasn't that great, but to be able to come back and help in any way I can and have done, I'm thankful. I'm thankful.
Our last question for Khiry will go to Sean Goodwin with the Kansas City Star. Sean, your line is open.
Khiry, just going back to the conditions real quick. As a player on the field, can you just tell us how tough it was? Some of the actions that may be simple, such as quick change of direction, 50-50, just gauging how far the ball is going to go. How much harder was all of that playing in snow as deep as that was?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be focused. I mean, it's not a pretty game. It's not. There's no expectations of it being a pretty game. So, you got to play 1 and 2 touch and try to keep it as simple as you can. And we did that on the day, and we came here to win, and we did.
How was that 90 minutes out there in that snow? And more importantly, how does it feel to end up first place in the Western Conference?
It was definitely cold. The first half was a little bit colder for me. I think I just got a little adjusted to it in the second half, but ugly, scrappy, awkward game to say the least. But, we came here with an objective to put ourselves on home field advantage in the Western Conference playoffs, and hopefully maybe with some luck in the MLS finals. And we accomplished that. So I'm very proud of the way everyone played today. The effort all over the field. The first goal is a little scrappy, but, just picking up those second balls and really getting his opportunity and taking advantage of it. And then Hurtado coming on, doing what he does and scoring big time goals almost immediately when he comes off the bench. So all in all, I think it's a huge performance for us. It was one of those where we came into a difficult situation and we just had to reach our objective, and we did, and something we should be proud of.
Next question goes to Sean Goodwin with the Kansas City Star. Sean, your line is open.
Tim, down the other end of the field, you had Ochoa making his MLS debut for Salt Lake. We know how tough an MLS debut can be, but as a goalkeeper, even more so, and in that weather, another level, can you just speak to how tough that would have been for him, knowing how tough it was for you with all the experience you've got behind you?
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting your first game, you don't want negative variables thrown at you, such as weather and snow and all that. I thought he handled himself pretty well. He's for a young goalkeeper in those tough conditions, he still looked to play the ball out of the back. So you can see he has quality doing that in a normal scenario. You can see moments of quality. Sure, he wants the second goal back, but those are things that are going to happen. All in all, he looks like a quality goalkeeper. I haven't seen him a ton, but you hope that when you do get your opportunity, it's in better conditions, but it is what it is. And I think he did pretty solid for what was the cards he was dealt.
Next question goes to Ali Trost with Sports Radio 810 WHB. Ali, your line is open.
Hey, Tim, congratulations on clinching the number 1 seed and the clean sheet tonight. I'm curious, as a goalkeeper, you mentioned the conditions going into a game where it's dumping snow and one bad bounce can change the outcome of the game. What's your focus as a goalkeeper that you're working on and focusing on in a game like tonight?
Yeah, my mentality or my thought process throughout that game was to stay closer to my line. The ball was very inconsistent with how it skipped through. There was times it sped up, and there was other times it just stopped. So, there was a couple through balls in the second half where I feel like in normal conditions I would come out and claim pretty easily. But, I kind of just made my mind up that I wasn't going to put myself in a situation that I didn't need to be in. And I was going to get back and make sure I'm balanced, because it was also very difficult to shoot. Guys aren't able to hit the ball as clean. So I felt like if I'm balanced and back on my line, I would give myself the best opportunity to make a save. And those are just the things that you have to kind of think about going into games like this, and make sure you just put yourself in the best scenario to succeed for the team.
And as a follow-up, in all of Sporting's 7 clean sheets this season, Roberto Puncic has played every single minute in those 7 games. So I'm just curious, with the communication and organization, what's it like working with him back there?
He's great, and I think he's grown in quality every game. He's getting more comfortable. His presence on the field is great. His communication, we're all just kind of getting to know one another right now. You have Winston in there playing a little bit more consistently with Robbie. I think the future is bright. They're both very good in the air. Robbie did phenomenal on one ball, actually, to speak with your first question, where I stayed back on my line a little bit, and he carried a lot deeper than maybe he normally would have to, but he continued to chase the attacker. I believe it was Bard, and he did a phenomenal job kind of shielding him off and then rolling the guy up and then stepping the line up. So Robbie's been very impressive, and we're happy to have him here.
Our final question goes to Thad Bell with SB Nation. Thad, your line is open.
Hey, congrats, Tim. Sporting made the largest jump from 11th place to first place in 1 year. How proud of you, or how this team has bounced back this year and with all the adversity that you guys have had to face?
Yeah, I think last year has galvanized us as a group. That's for certain for me. You know, it was a very difficult year, and we even had stretches this year where we were inconsistent, but I think just as a whole, 2020 has been inconsistent for other reasons. But I think we learned a lot last year when we weren't having success, and we understand just how important each game is and how points are so important in MLS at any point in the season. And this year we did a really good job early on. You know, we got a good amount of points down in Orlando. We had a little lull when we got back, but then we really started to hit our stride again. And just to come out and have the year we had this year and to have the response, I think it's something that, you know, it speaks to Peter and all the staff and the trust they had in us. And all in all, those are great things. But now, you know, we're in the playoffs, we have home field advantage, and now we have to, you know, take the next step and succeed further.